Hi, in this video I would like to show you what I've done with the prunings from this bush. So I've just cleared this. I'm not sure what bush it is. If I remember correctly, it makes some purple flowers, which I'm sure are quite good for the bees. But I wanted to clear it to provide more light to a pear tree I planted here in the autumn. So this is the pear tree. It's here, it's been grafted, it has been gifted by my dad. And as you can see, I've pruned the bush, and all the branches, the cuttings and the broken branches I've layered around the pear tree. And I've stuck this in the ground just so other people who might be walking through the garden don't step on this small tree and other things I might stuck in there, as for example perhaps currants, cuttings of currants. But yeah, that's the pear tree. And here we have some currants as well. I mean, one cutting here is very small, as you can see, and I've surrounded it with more branches because since it's so small, I'm worried I might step on it, or animals coming through the garden might step on it or might want to nibble on it. Hopefully this protection will be enough. Yeah, we'll see. But this is, as you can see, it's very small. I'm not sure if it's just a berry or a currant, I can't remember exactly, but they're the same, I mean similar, so they should be rooting very well. And as you can see, it is leafing out. Hopefully it will grow into a massive bush from which I can take cuttings in the future. And here as well, probably on the camera is not showing as much, but you can see another cutting here, beautiful green leaf, and it's tiny. I took it from the bushes I planted by the fence when I pruned those. Same idea, I've surrounded it with some small branches which I stuck in the ground to protect it a bit more and make it a bit more visible in the garden. Here another cutting, this hasn't leafed out yet. I'm not sure again if this is a currant or just a berry, but again, very easy to just take cuttings, put them in the ground, offer them some protection. Hopefully the bunnies, the hare and the deer won't nibble on them. They will let them grow. And these are planted by the pear tree Doyen de Comis, which I planted in the autumn of 2022. I think 2022. First year we moved here anyway. But yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. Made some more light in here as we go to the air prune boxes. Here is a bit like I removed some of the soil because I needed to put it in the boxes, so it's not looking very good at the moment, but hopefully I'll build it up again. But yeah, at the same time, because I pruned this, I also didn't cut them all the way to the ground because I wanted the branches to provide a bit of shelter for the pear tree as well, because we get strong winds in this area. And here's another I mean, this box doesn't have, none of the boxes with the exception of that one, the largest one, don't have protection on top. So I am concerned that animals might nibble on the hazelnuts when they will emerge from the seeds, and I am also concerned about wind, but hopefully this area will provide a bit of a shelter if the wind comes from behind me. If it comes from that area, I mean, I don't know how they will do, but I've stuck this in the ground as well, just as a little bit of protection from hares, from deer mostly, because hare can go through, but they can't really reach there. Hopefully they can't. But the deer, maybe they'll be deterred if they just see some sort of barrier there. They'll just say, oh, I'll go somewhere else to nibble. There's plenty of stuff in the garden they can chew on. So we'll see how that works. In the future I would love to put some wire mesh on top as well, but that's for the future. I can't really afford to do that at the moment. We'll see how this first year the air prune boxes do. But yeah, I'll show you the big box if you haven't seen it yet. Yeah, this is what I should be doing, putting some wire mesh, but sturdier one, on top of the boxes. Here I was just able to lay it on top of the box because it has these sides which are much higher up, but ideally I would want to have like a mesh on the sides as well, and just wood here supporting the mesh on the box, just to protect it from birds that might be picking on the young seedlings and from the wind. Here hopefully it will be a bit more protected because it's behind the house, but we'll see. An experiment, as I mentioned. Here as well I've stuck some in the ground, although we haven't had wild animals come so close to the house, although we did have some hare munching on the front garden, and some deer going through the garden there and jumping over the fence going into the forest nearby, but they haven't come closer than that. But who knows what they will do when we're not here. So I just stuck those in the ground since I have them, and I might need them later on to support some other plants. I didn't just leave them on the ground because they will rot. I put plenty of material there to help build the soil. So yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. A lot of stuff that needs to be done in the garden. I'm currently waiting on a delivery of strawberries. I've ordered 50 plants, bare root plants, and 2 gooseberries, and one other currant, black currant, titania I think it's called. So I'm excited to plant those in the future. So this is another, see how small it is, but hopefully it will root. I mean, it's a good sign that it has leaves, but it's still a very young plant, so that's why I gave it a bit more protection. And we'll see how they do. I didn't want to put cages around for 2 reasons. One reason is that they cost money to make and they don't look that great in the landscape. They don't decompose. I'd rather use material which decomposes. So we'll see. This is the hazel tree I planted from seed first autumn, so it's doing well. I've moved another one, was just here. I've moved it here. I don't know how well it will do, but I'll give it a chance. I mean, it's sprouted, so it's already ahead than others which didn't emerge from the seeds. So, but hopefully this autumn we'll have lots more hazelnuts to plant, to sell, to do all sorts of beautiful food forests with them. And the honeyberries are doing great. These are not honeyberries, but I'm looking forward to the blooms. Should be purple blooms. I think they're violets. And the honeyberries, as I mentioned, they look beautiful. They have lots of blooms. As you can see, we have 6 plants, I think. Yeah, one there, one there, one there, there, one there, one there. Few of them are earlier than others. See, if I remember correctly, this one made honeyberries last year. I mean the berries, the actual berries. I can't remember if I tasted one or it wasn't fully ripe, and by the time I came to see it, it was already gone. Probably some bird took it. But hopefully this year we'll have more berries. We get to try them properly, see which one tastes better. They're all different varieties, and I would love to take cuttings from them. I might actually try some layering with this one since it's quite long. I just don't want to bend it too much if it breaks. I'll have a look and see. But yeah, I could layer it like I did with the Japanese wineberry. Bend it and then put it into soil and layer some soil, put a rock and then some soil, and shoots should come from it. And it's another way of expanding the food forest, which is only young at the moment, but who knows what it will be like in 5 years. We have to plant the potatoes here. I planted the onions and the garlic the other day. In this area I'm going to put potatoes. Last year we had tomatoes here as well, but this year I'm not going to plant tomatoes here. It's just not good to do it in the open. If I had a polytunnel, that would be fine, but I'm just going to put lots of potatoes here. That's the plum tree, Mirabelle. That's Mirabelle de Nancy. There's the apple tree. Well, I was going to show you just a bit when I'm having a walk through the garden. Here I tried some grafting. The shoots look, the ones that I grafted onto the rootstock are still looking good, but we'll see if they will actually take. Usually I think we need to give them like 2 years to see if the graft survives and then thrives as well. But yeah, I've done 4 of them with the one from the apple tree. This one, I think it's a wild apple or a crab apple, something like that. So I tried to graft it with that kind of apples because it's a very nice variety. Here we have the pink currant, Gloire de Sablon, French variety. I took cuttings from this one as well a while ago, and I planted some around. The hydrangea is looking great this year. Last year I pruned it quite harshly and it didn't make any blooms, but this year it should make lots of purple and pink blooms. Usually they make either blue or pink, but this one is doing really well. So when it was in bloom the first year we moved here, it had both colors, so must be doing quite well. Here we have some of the elderberry cuttings I took before the end of 2023. They're starting to leaf out, which is another good sign. These cuttings are a bit thin. I took thicker one a little bit after I did these ones, and I think those ones will grow faster since they're sturdier cuttings. Here we have the Katsura tree, also known as the candy floss tree and other names. It's basically a tree which smells like candy. It's in the autumn when the leaves turn orange reddish. They make that beautiful smell. So I look forward to smelling that in our garden. Hopefully our neighbors will enjoy that as well. It has really beautiful buds. I'm not sure if it's going to focus. But yeah, you can see pinkish, beautiful buds. Can't wait to see how it will look in the autumn. And at the base of the katsura we have two cuttings. Well, we have another one which is just a branch I took when I pruned this a bit. I stuck it in the ground. We'll see if it will take roots. Will be nice because I'll have another katsura tree. But yeah, we have also two cuttings of this one I think is the jostaberry, and the currant. I think maybe a red currant or the pink currant, one of the currants. I wrote in my diary but I can't remember exactly, I'll have to check. But they look good, especially this one is already leafing out. So yeah, it's just simple ways of expanding the food forest. Hopefully, as I mentioned, the bunnies will leave them alone and the deer, but if not, I'll just add more cuttings as time goes by. I don't really want to put cages around them unless they're very like expensive trees, which this one was actually, but as you can see, it's a really tall tree already. It's almost like 2 meters. It's taller than me, at least it was before I pruned the top, so it's already pretty established. But yeah, these should grow pretty fast if they're not nibbled too much by the deer. Here we have the aronia, which is budding out slowly. I want to plant more of the aronia. It makes very good berries for our health. And we have some strawberries here. I need to add more mulch here when I can find some, and some plants for the kitchen garden. Here we have the wonderful, beautiful daffodils, which are bloom now. The snowdrops have faded, but I like the way they look there. I moved them from the back where we have lots of them. I moved 3 bunches, about 3 bunches there. There's another one. Yeah, they look very nice here at the front when we come through the gate. Oh, I love how yellowish and how cheerful this looks. We have more plants emerging from there, more ornamental ones, but that's okay. Here we have the olive trees. Here we have another cutting. We'll see how it does. There's another one on this side of the other olive tree. Very thin, this one. I don't know if it'll survive, but I stuck it. It is budding out. It's just very thin, so I don't know how it will do. It's worth a try though. Here we have another part of the tree nursery. I've got elderberry cuttings and hazelnuts planted there at the back in 3 beds, I think 3 beds. Here we have magnolia. Here in front, where these sticks are, I've planted lily pretty woman, which is a tree lily, makes yellow, white blooms, very large. They're supposed to be. Hopefully they'll survive the super munchers in the garden. But yeah, here are the elderberry cuttings, the thicker ones I've put. And they were in leaf already, some of them, when I've cut the branches, but they have leafed out more. We'll see how they do. So far they're looking good. And here I'm thinking to plant the strawberries, since we have all this material down, all the wood chips, and it will help the strawberries grow faster, hopefully, rather than putting them somewhere where there's grass at the moment. But yeah, I'm thinking to put some here. We'll see. I might put some along here near the kitchen. It will be easier to spot them when they're ripe, so hopefully the birds won't take them all, or the slugs will leave some for us. That's my hope anyway. Here we have the kitchen garden area, which is in development. I've just layered here wood chips, and there's one cap mycelium. We'll see if it took, but yeah, I've planted two more, well, two bulbs I think, of Lily Pretty Woman there. There's an ornamental there as well. It was already here. It's more cuttings, more currants. This one looks like it's opening up slower than the other ones. These have already bloomed. I mean, bloomed, leafed out. But yeah, as you can see, they're very small, so we'll see how they do. But yeah, small, but they might be mighty in a few years. The kitchen garden, which is waking up. Here I've planted more onions. I want to plant some parsley there, more parsley. I've got some more lilies there, the Pretty Woman. I planted like 12 of them. So on the other side of the stick, I want to plant more parsley in between this area, because from there I've planted onions. And here's, I've got some roots. We'll see if they actually emerge, of horseradish. But yeah. And I've cleaned this bush as a little bit more. I could cut more, and I might cut in the future, but for now I just wanted to make like a pathway in between the bed and the bush, which is more like a tree now. It's grown so big. But yeah, hopefully this in the summer will be full of hazelnut trees, which will make it to autumn, and then hopefully they will make it into people's gardens and become beautiful food forests. More daffodils here. And this is the bushes from which I took the cuttings. Some of them were larger, taller, so I was able to take a few cuttings from them, and hopefully those ones will become stronger plants as well. That's the brown jacquins. Still quite thin, but look at this, it's budding beautifully. Wow. The Josta berry is doing really well. Very fast growing. You can see another Josta berry cutting here, which also is leafing out. The snowdrops have faded, and in time I will move these and probably create pathways, and probably gift some of these because there's so many plants. But yeah, so many snowdrops. Anyway, this video ended up being much longer than I anticipated. I just wanted to make a few minutes video, but yeah, it is what it is. I hope you enjoyed the walk through the garden, young food forest. Thank you for watching. Take care.